Alright everyone, welcome back to BeamNG Drive. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, and they are certainly much requested, but I have an excuse to make one now, and that's because the developers have released a pre-race update. That's what they're calling it, and a lot of the videos I wanted to make, I need the full race update to be released, but they've decided they're going to start doing a series of, not small, but smaller updates, rather than having only one every few months. The last one they had was in September 2013, and this one was released on the 22nd of June 2014, so almost about half a year. Actually, over half a year since they released the last update. So a lot of people have been getting antsy. They've been wanting a new update, so I think they're going to do a few more of those now. But they've added some new stuff, made lots of improvements visually, and fixed a lot of bugs. Still more to go though, so not done yet. But I'm quite impressed with what they've done. So let's check it out here. So. First off, new menu. As you can see, it shows what map. It shows you a preview of every map here, and you can see that it shows in the bottom left corner what that map is. So if you see something interesting, you can go check it out. These all pretty much have the same function. It's the same options menu. Not entirely sure if you guys can actually see the options here, but I need to turn my volume down a little bit anyway. Right about there should be good. And we'll get on into the game and see what happens. I had some issues before with recording. I actually already recorded this and then found out that none of the game sounds for some reason were recorded, so I think I fixed it. If not, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to live with it for an episode. I don't know what it is causing it, but it just worked in that little test I did moments ago. So anyway, so no new maps added yet. They have been working on a new one, but it's not in the game yet. Eventually we'll have it, so have the typical ones, and I feel like we're missing a map somewhere, but not entirely sure. But as you can see, that doesn't mean just because they don't have any really new maps that there isn't changes. So first off, we have the grid small pure. That's new. Before we just had the regular grid pure, which I guess is good if you want to maybe create a simple user-made map where you just want to have like an obstacle course or something just in the middle of a flat area. It might be a smaller file to use that even. I don't know, because I'm not a modder or anything myself. But Dry Rock Island, we had that before. Same with the Derby arenas. We'll make full use of this once they have good AI. But right now they're just experimental kind of things to keep people happy. Cliff definitely got a big change. We're gonna check that out. Cliff, is that what it was called before, or is it a completely different map? I'm not sure. But this is the one where you'd spawn in and you instantly fall down the hill in whatever vehicle you happen to be in, which would be the pickup by default, I believe. New loading screens too, by the way. That's neat. Alright, and there's our vehicle, and you can see here we have some gauges up on screen. These two gauges here I kind of brought in on my own, and I'll show you real quick how we can actually, oh, that's interesting, how we can actually do that. So you can see in the bottom right corner there's a few buttons here. There's also one on the top right, which we'll get to in a moment, but the bottom right, you can choose the very bottom one to kind of move around these things. You can choose to hide these in the cockpit if you want. There's an option for that. And click that again to the same button to get rid of those. And now we can click the plus button to bring in various things. Like I brought in the pitch and the roll. Those weren't in there by default. Everything else was. So we could bring in gears and stuff like that. Certain things can be handy in certain situations. Yeah, it's a real nice improvement they made to the user interface here. And especially looking at this. Now this is the whole menu now. So that's neat. Effects, some extra graphic settings, neat. Environment, we can we can affect the gravity now. So zero gravity, for example, moon gravity, Earth's gravity. Oh, let's not roll over. That could be problematic. And then if we wanted to, we could use like the sun's gravity, which would pretty much crush every vehicle. And negative Earth, which floats us up in the air. Let's put this thing back. No, I'm not putting this thing back down properly. It's just gonna go right into the. Oh man, it's floating away. We are floating away. It's moon gravity, right? Yeah, so we are going down, just not that fast. Zero gravity? Nope. I tried to put it down gently, but it didn't work out too well. Oh well. I will spawn that vehicle back in there. Not entirely sure what all these are for. I guess just different looks like some possible debugging related stuff. There is also debugging menus, one for terrain and one for vehicles. Not something I'm going to mess around with much myself. Vehicles, you can spawn in new vehicles, which we'll get to eventually. Looks like you can reset all the vehicles together and stuff like that. Part configuration, so you can bring up this menu. I think that, yeah, so the Control W and Control E and stuff like that you would use as your shortcuts to bring up those before would work. But these are extra things, so if you don't know all the shortcuts and you don't feel like memorizing them, then there you go. It looks like you can toggle AI and stuff. I haven't really messed around with any of that yet, but maybe we'll do a little bit of that in a moment. You may have seen as well some changes with spawning in vehicles when I brought up that menu briefly, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right, I'm trying to use WASD to move my vehicle. That doesn't work. I have to use the arrow keys. And let's get my mouse. Oh wow, we are already getting stuck. This is no spin tires, is it, as far as off-roading goes? It'd be nice to see a game with all these technologies that developers have created. The amazing damage model from BeamNG Drive, and like the amazing mud off-roading, mud deformations of spin tires all put together in one game. It's too bad that none of the big AAA titles would ever want to work on some of those with some of those technologies. At least not yet, because some small indie developers are doing some pretty amazing stuff, such as BeamNG Drive right here, with their soft body physics. But you know, something about rolling down this hill never gets old, and it looks like there was several routes you could take. This is the route I took before, and it worked pretty well. A lot of them take you right to the bottom, and it's smashing up these vehicles just never gets old. You can see the pitch and the roll indicator is going crazy. They can't really keep up with how fast the vehicle's flipping around. I think it'd be handy for off-roading and stuff like that if you want to know what angle at maximum you can let your vehicle move into before it starts to flip. So let's turn our camera around. We'll look up at the mountain we just rolled down. Now I thought they had fixed it so that your camera couldn't go below ground, but I guess not yet. Eventually they will, for sure, because it doesn't look pretty. So I know that's on their list of things to do. They've actually broke some things. Ooh, water effects. Did it look like that before you looked out of the water? But they actually broke flat tires, basically, with some of the changes they made to tires. They fixed other things, though. The parking brake, for example, that works great now. It's no longer all wonky like it was before. But let's test out this off-road version. You'll see there's different variations of vehicles now. They made a few changes there. I'll let you guys experiment on those yourself. You can easily change the color of vehicles. You could before, but it wasn't as easy. You had to go into like the world editor or something like that. I forget exactly how I did it, because I did do it at one point. But we're going to try seeing how high we can climb up this thing now. And it is bumpy, so that's going to make it very difficult. It's going to really reduce the amount of time that our tires are in contact with the ground. So less momentum, less traction, all that fun stuff. You can see we're climbing about a 30-degree slope right now. I don't think we could climb probably any more than a 40 in this truck. This is a four-wheel drive with off-road stuff and all that jazz. So yeah, can't get a whole lot better than this in this game for hill climbs. I'm not sure how the grass areas here are going to affect my traction, though. Probably not going to help at all. I imagine that'll be slipperier than the rocks, but I guess we'll find out eventually. But yeah, lots of visual improvements they made. You'll notice it when you see roads, for example. They'd fix that. They kind of made everything look a little bit smoother. You might be able to notice it. It's going to be hard to notice it on YouTube in the videos, though. And when you actually play it yourself, though, you might notice it. They made about a 25% improvement that a lot of people might see to performance. But a lot of little tweaks here and there, among other things. Let's see if we can keep climbing up here. The grass didn't affect our traction a whole lot. Oh, I don't think we're making it up here, though. Yeah, not enough traction. Oh, I have a feeling this isn't going to end well. Yeah. It's nearly impossible to keep the truck straight once it starts sliding all around. And down the hill we go. Yeah, that seems a little bit painful. End over end now. Now, is it still drivable? It is. Wow. That's kind of impressive, actually. Let's just see what kind of, if we can find another place to go up or not. We're struggling to go through all the sand here. They hold us back quite a bit. But they did add one new vehicle to the game. They have another one that they're not quite ready to implement yet, which would be the transport. They haven't added the transport yet. I think they call it the T75. Well, that worked well. But we will check out the other one that's in there yet. Like I said before, I can't really do some of the crazy stuff I want to do with the transport yet because the vehicle obviously isn't in existence yet. But Dry Rock Island, is that the one I want? There's a certain map I want. I think it's Small Island that we need. I'll know as soon as we spawn in. But we'll give this, the new vehicle, they call it the Pigeon, I think, a try. I think they also made another variation of the sporty car. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. I'll check it out here in a moment. It would be the, I think it's this one that they made a new variation of. Yeah. You can see they changed all the colors of the vehicles because you can now customize it so they don't all have their own unique colors really. So we'll make it a nice sporty color. Too bad you can't add really like a racing stripe yet. Is blue sporty? Not really. I think we have to go with like a red, a nice bright red. That one might look a little pinky though, this color. Yeah, it's a little too pink-ish. It's not sporty enough maybe to go with something darker. But they have the, oh, they completely renamed them. That's different from what I was expecting. Because I know before they were saying they implemented like a sport. They had a race, or they added a sport or a race edition, which added a few changes. I can't remember exactly what. They made some changes to this vehicle too, just to make it a little bit easier to drive. I doubt it's still easy, but these different variations here. I'm just kind of curious myself. I haven't checked them out. Is that the one I was just looking at? I'm not sure. Stripped vehicles. Oh, right. That's what a stripped vehicle is. So there's the 320 and the 390, it looks like. Variations. We'll leave that for now. For now, we're just going to go hop over to the Pigeon. No, they only have one variation, looks like. We'll just leave it as white, I guess. For now. I guess it has its own color there, too. The bluish color, which somehow suits it. So let's take a close look at it. We'll zoom right in on it a bit. Put on the parking brake that actually works now. You can see I can't move much. It doesn't roll around like it used to. You can actually use it on a slope. It works with the bigger vehicles and stuff like that. But as you can see, obviously 3 wheels, so one in the front. That's going to make it very tippy. I'm kind of surprised to only see one variation of it so far. And I know they have created, it must not be finished yet though, because they didn't add it to the pre-race update. But they added one with, for lack of a better word, with training wheels, so you didn't tip so easy, which is a great idea, I think. But look at this thing. As I'm driving it, you'll see I'm just all over the place. It's nearly impossible to keep in a straight line on a bumpy road. Oop, and it's very, very tippy. That's a little bit of a makes it a little bit difficult. But they made a change to this map too, and I'm going to drive down here. I'm pretty sure it's just down here a bit where I can show you guys the change. Oh geez, this is so bouncy. Can't wait for that training wheeled version. It feels light, this thing. Okay, we have a good straight. Now we're gonna hit a bump and all hope will be lost. This is a dangerous velocity for this vehicle. I can't believe we didn't just roll there. So there now we roll. There's a spare tire on the bottom. That's a neat little touch. Alright. Keep it up. So the race update, it's the pre-race update, this. So it doesn't actually have all the racing stuff in there yet, so I can't go ahead and set like a lap time or anything like that quite yet. At least not without any user-made mods. I also removed the vehicles I had modded in from this just to prevent any issues. I figured some of them would be broken anyway. I don't know for sure, but so we're just going to go with what the game gives us for now. I'm looking forward to that transport they're adding, which I think they're calling the T75. It looks like they have it mostly done. They just need to work on the interior of the vehicle and stuff like that. Remember, it's not a big AAA game company, so they don't have super huge amounts of progress done in the game every day. Ooh, there's the change. Slow down. They added a tunnel on this map, so that's a neat touch. They actually showed on the dev blog kind of a time lapse of them building it. They took a picture every once in a while, every time they did something different. So they added the rocks. That's one thing about being able to go underground like this with your camera. You can see up easier. But they added the rocks above the place, above the bridge, or the tunnel. They didn't have those before. The entire tunnel has been added. There wasn't any of it before, so they showed step by step kind of as they did it, which is kind of neat. You can go over to beamng.com, I think, /blogs. There'll be a link in the description for that if you want to check that out. They give good updates of what their progress is every once in a while on there. A little bit of everything. Some of it's pretty technical, but they certainly are aware that not everybody is technical, and they can't just show lines of code for everybody. They show a bit of everything for everybody, so that's great. Doesn't matter if you're fluent in your programming languages to understand that well. But that's a nice screenshot, actually. That's going to be the thumbnail, I think. But that's pretty much it for this update. We do need to mess around with a few things, so let's go back to the main menu. And let's just use our good old trusty grid map here. Just because we can. I think we need to test out this pigeon a little bit more too. Come on, loading. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. They made some serious changes to this map. This is the first time I've checked this out. It looks awesome. This texture looks like, oh. We have some fun to do. The texture for the ground has been completely reworked. It looks like I knew they changed it, but I didn't think they changed it to this. And let's actually get rid of the pitch and roll. You know what? They might be entertaining to watch when we do a loop-de-loop here. Let's switch over to this thing. We'll just get the GTR because we can. Don't really care what color it is. Actually, I do. Make up your mind. Go with that red. And we'll just hit this thing at full speed and see what happens. Oh, those bumps have all been changed a bit too. This thing is still not easy to control, but just a little bit less difficult, I think. Oh, I cannot see what I'm doing. Well, we're crashing. You know there's a problem when you have time to say, we are going to crash, out loud. Let's try this again. We'll try with a different camera angle. Sounds don't seem to be quite perfect there, but, well, going down again. Okay, third time's the charm. We'll try this once more, and if it doesn't work, then we'll try taking it from the other direction, I think. That's going to cause problems to my vehicle. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, yep. Well, it was certainly entertaining. Let's go check out that from a different angle. I do like the texture change they made, although it seems to be, I don't know, I'm just wondering how it'll look at high speeds. I wonder what else they changed, if anything, around here. Nothing else really stands out to me at first glance that wasn't here before. Actually, I'm going the completely wrong direction if I want to test this out, aren't I? I imagine this isn't going to help people's frame rates on this map, though. More items. Yeah, I see. Okay, I'm taking this from the completely wrong angle. So I need to get some speed built up. I don't know if there's even enough space here for me to get a run at this. I kind of doubt it. We're going to try, though, but I doubt this is going to work too well. Yeah, this thing's still plenty drifty, at least this version of it. Yeah, we're not going to make this angle, this turn, at any kind of speed that we need. Yeah, that's that's not going to happen. Let's just check out this one to our rights now. And checking out for other things that look new too. I don't see anything else. I was not aware they made changes to this map. They do have a whole change log. I think you can get it. I think it gives you a copy of it when you download the game. And by the way, when I downloaded this game, the update for it, how long do you think it took to update the 1.47 gigabytes? About 20 hours. The launcher said it's going to take about 20 hours. I'm like, no. 1.47 gigabytes. Oh, my internet connection, that's a hole. That's a drop. Should normally take about 15 minutes at the most. No, it took 20 hours. It was an all-night thing. I started it before I went to work, thinking, oh yeah, it'll be easily done before I get home. Because 15 minutes, it was only about a quarter done, but I'm like, whatever. But it took, oh wow, this is harder than it looks. I need a different vehicle for this. It took 20 hours, roughly, to download the 1.47 gigabyte update, and I imagine that's because they don't have the, sure, Moonhawk, why not? I imagine it's because they don't have the best download servers at their disposal, and there was probably a lot of people, ooh, it's gold, downloading that update at the same time. So I mean, let's give them some leeway. I'm sure it's not going to be a 20-hour download now if you download it, because they released the update on the 22nd. So there's been a few days for them to kind of fix stuff up on their end, and they admitted that it didn't go as smoothly as they wanted to. And there won't be 100 people, several hundred other people at least, downloading the game at the same time, so the server won't be under so much stress. This is a huge angle. I do not have the momentum I need to keep up with that. Let's try the other direction, the way we tried the first time with the sportier car, the car of which I'm not going to try to pronounce. Probably not the best vehicle for the job anyway, but we're going to try to make it work. If you can keep on this track the whole time, then you are a professional BeamNG drive player. I'm going to be doing good if I keep it through this first curve. Oh no, 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 no. Yep, that's about all she wrote for me there. Oh, let me reset this vehicle right here so I can actually drive in a straight line properly. That loop over there, that's something I could probably complete, but it would take a few tries. I don't have enough momentum for this. Yeah, I can't even climb it in this car. Let's try going the other direction and see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into there. There's a curve. We might be able to make it around the first curve. Or not. Yeah, once you start losing control on that hill at speed, it's over. Oh, we broke our drive shaft. Well, guys, if you can complete this whole thing on your own, then I salute you, because that is an accomplishment. How do I get out of this little area now? Looks like there's a path over here. I just want to look at this thing from a bit of a distance again, because this thing looks crazy. All right, the texture they added is different for sure. Let's stop at the top of this hill here. There's a whole lot of changes they made. The change log is huge. If you don't get it in a download when you download the game, if you don't get a copy of the change log, then there is one online. Use the parking brake. And I'll put a link to the change log on the wiki in the description as well. All the links for getting the game and whatnot are also there. Support the developers. If you don't have a legit copy of the game, guys, get it. Get a legit copy. It's like, what? When I bought it, it was $16. I think it's gone up a couple of dollars since then, but it's still like less than 20 bucks for a game that's got so much potential. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. So check it out, guys. Get a legit copy of the game. Stop pirating it. It's great. And all the changes are in the description, or a link to them. Hopefully I didn't miss too much. Oh yeah, there was one thing I was going to do. Turn off the parking brake. I was going to mess with some of the settings here. I know for a fact that one of them is going to break the game, so I'm going to use that last. Not so much break the game, but break everything else. My experience with it. So vehicles, we can reset the vehicles so they respawn to their least previous places. That's what the reset does. Respawns them to their last spawn location. Reload, I think, probably just puts them back in place. Let's try. It put it to its new location, but it changed its angle. Toggle free camera, that's handy. You no longer have to go into the world editor to get the free camera. That's very handy. We can still drive our vehicle around too, which I can't see because it's underneath the thing, doing a burnout or something. There it is. Yeah. Anyways, guys, physics enabled, you can toggle them on and off right there. Park configuration, we already tested with that. Toggle AI. Let's toggle the free camera. And now we're going to do this one thing that's probably going to lag me to death or break the game here before I go. Spawn new. Oh, geez. What the heck? That's interesting. Before I hit the spawn new button, it spawned a second copy of the vehicle I was in. Therefore, I mashed the button a dozen times. Oh, it's lagging now. And I had a dozen vehicles of the same thing inside of each other, and it just caused everything to go wonkers. But anyways, guys, looks like the game is freezing to a halt here. It doesn't help that I mashed the spawn new button a dozen times there, but I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.